Heat. Any techniques for interrupting that brief moment when your mind takes over and reacts to an external situation rather than seeing it as a movie? There are times when I feel like I have inside out sorted, then there's a slight trigger and the mind is off to the races.
So, hmm, well, you're a human being first and foremost. So, even if you have the inside out living sorted, things are still going to happen because you don't control the external. So, you're just normal. When things externally, sometimes they can get a little bit too much, even if we know our experience is coming from inside of us, that doesn't matter sometimes because we're human beings and sometimes we can only take so much of the external, knocking at us, smacking at us, whatever, before we start to get a little revved up. But the beautiful part of that whole question there is your awareness. Your awareness that you noticed your thinking got revved up. Your awareness that you noticed something triggered it. And I think it was Melissa on a previous episode who talked about buttons. So you let somebody push that button, or you pushed it yourself, Pete, because like there are buttons. So I don't know. There's times I could, gosh, I don't know, mad, sad, whatever. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stay there. It doesn't mean I have to stay there. It doesn't mean I have to believe any of the bullshit I'm telling myself when my mind is revved up. It just means my mind is revved up. I need to take a step back metaphorically, maybe physically, don't know what the situation is, but take the step back. Use that space in between thought to just come back to the now and to settle and whatever that looks like for you. Go for a walk, read a book, go for a drive, whatever kinds of things. So technique wise, because he asked, do what brings you back to home base, so to speak. What brings you back to your natural state of innate peace and in your innate well-being. That's that's my advice.
Yeah, it's so easy to go down into that spiral. And I think the deeper down in that spiral you are, it's harder to see the sun through the clouds. You know, it's easy to see this. It's easy to say, oh, that's just thought when it's a sunny day. It's so much harder to see it when there's clouds everywhere. But just that thinking in ourselves is like, this is not going to last. This is going to move. And then just allowing yourself to sit there and say, yeah, I am human. I'm feeling this right now. I'm allowing myself to feel it. And as soon as you do that, like you say, with that level of awareness, it gets sunny so much quicker. You know, like my anger, I used to have anger and it used to last for days, weeks. Now it lasts minutes, sometimes seconds, you know? And that's just because I'm sitting there and saying to myself, I know this is not going to last. I know that. I don't just believe it, I know it.
I think that's a huge, huge thing, Melissa, because the thing with the three principles understanding, we can know it, we can live it. We're still going to get caught up in our thinking from time to time because we are human, because it does happen. And I think the big key is as soon as you become aware that it's happening, you call it out, take the step back, do whatever you need to. Sometimes I have to tell myself, stop. Sometimes I have to say it out loud and take the step back, even though it's just for a mental thing. But then that comes you can't go down a whole nother spiral of, well, I know better than this, and why am I still doing this? Because
Okay.
there's about 6 spirals right there that we can choose from to go down if we want to. But the biggest thing is, oh, I'm in my thinking. This isn't fun. I'm not going to feed it. This is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You sit with it, you let it without jumping into any of the little mini spirals it's got coming off of it. And every time, it gets quieter, it gets not as loud, it leaves quicker. But it's still a process because I kind of think of it as like a little kid, it's going to test, our ego, our thinking is going to be like, so I know you haven't been feeding me lately, but ooh, here's a good spot. I'm going to hop in and see if I can get you going on this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, and also remember, our mind is just like a social media algorithm. Whatever we put our focus on, it intensifies. It gives us more. You watch a video of a cat, and then all of a sudden you got cat videos coming up everywhere. Our mind's still the same. We've just got a lot. Not take ourselves so seriously, and just like you said, just sit back. And if you need a technique to help you get out of that spiral, that is also okay. And you can have, like Crystal was saying, take a walk, meditation, read a book, ask friends to help you. Like, this is what I love about you two. Like, I was in that thought spiral yesterday, right? Completely in it, panic. And I messaged you two because I know that you could pull me out. I was just asking for your hand to pull me out. Like, if you've got people around you, ask them to pull you out. Because they're not in your thought bubble. They're outside of it. And so sometimes it really helps to have people around you that you can just go to and just say, look, I'm struggling there. I know it's just my thinking, but can you help pull me out?
That's
And
a great point.
it makes such a big difference.
It does. That's a great point because you know what? Melissa is absolutely right. Uh, they've literally pulled me out of a spiral, I'm pretty sure, within the past week. So yeah, having your people and reaching out to your friends, they're always going to throw you that rope, that whatever, to climb out of that spiral. Go ahead, Jenna.
Yeah, sorry, Jen, go on.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say it's so, so helpful and makes all the difference when you have somebody that is going to look at the bigger picture with you and not focus on that content of the spiral and be like, ooh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you should be worried. Yeah, you're going to lose everything. And if I were you, I would cry right now. That's not going to help.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I find that so funny.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like therapy. Like, don't get me wrong, all these other modalities are amazing and they've helped so many people and they've helped me, but they focus on the problem and then they keep you in it. Like, I would go to therapy and feel worse than when I went there.
Yeah.
And they're doing it innocently, but it's pulling up everything. Yeah, I did therapy for a long time and it helped in some major, tremendous ways, and it kept me stuck in a lot of different ways and just created more questions. Um, and what I love about this is when I'm having an issue, I can call someone and we don't even talk about the issue because it doesn't matter. The issue, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's not that it isn't real and happening right now. But my experience of what's real and happening right now is stuck in a misunderstanding. So when I can talk to people that help me, like, oh, yeah, that maybe you should look at how you're looking at it. Maybe, it makes a difference to have people help you look for solutions rather than redefine and highlight the problems.
Yeah. And I want to say one last thing on that. Well, two last things. Haha. Um, number one, yeah, the other great part of that is when you have your people, right? They're not going to go down that spiral with you. And sometimes because they're not in a thought storm, they're not caught up in their thinking, just the presence of the other person, even via FaceTime or something like that, even over the phone, the calmness and the presence of the other person can just help pull you out of that as well. And um, I didn't go to therapy, so but I do have, one of my children that are in therapy, and yeah, I mean, since we were talking about it, I thought I'd just say a little thing. Yeah, I mean, she still struggles. She struggles to this day. She struggles, and she'll say, when she comes out of a session, she doesn't feel good
Yeah.
about it. So I don't know. I never went to therapy. So, but yeah, just having your friends and having your group and your people can call you out on your bullshit
Mhm.
and say, "Look, you see what's going on here, right?" Because maybe you don't in the moment, because yeah, when we're not in a space of clarity, it's a little bit harder for us sometimes to see, and we just need that friendly voice and that helping hand to say, "Hey, take a step back for a second.
Right.
You see what's actually going on?" That's
And
my
also,
last
like,
little.
if you don't have that network around you, there's so many videos, there's so many podcasts, there's so much out there. So
Yes.
saying that, oh, I don't have that network, it's an excuse. Like, to be blunt, there is
Yes.
so much out there.
There's so much out there. There's so many coaches out there. I mean, people can reach out to each one of us, and we'll be more than happy to talk with and help people sort their stuff. And we're not the only ones. There's so many people. There's such a huge network, and yeah, it's everywhere if that's what you're looking for. But you
Yeah.
have to be ready to look for the solution and let go of the problem.
Yeah, you have to be ready to let go of that victimness. And that can be very hard. I didn't want to let go of mine, and that's why when I first come to the Free Principles, I left it a year because I wasn't quite ready to let go of that. That was my identity, you know?
Yep.
But if you're listening to this now, that probably means you're ready, you know? So if you're hearing it, like, obviously I've said this so many times, like, I do believe in the law of attraction. If you've been attracted to one of us who is speaking about the Free Principles, that means that you are ready to hear about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you wouldn't have heard us. You wouldn't have. It'd be like in a room, okay, with people talking, and we're talking about one thing. If you wasn't ready to hear it, you wouldn't have heard us, you'd have heard someone else. Does that make sense? It's like you're hearing us for a reason, law of attraction. Like, I I'm totally lost now. Totally lost.
Once you hear it, it's funny because once you hear it, then you're like, oh,
Expect you.
and you start looking in that direction. It's like you start seeing it and hearing it everywhere, everywhere. And because it's everywhere and it always has been. But what are you looking to see?
It's like the other day, we was driving somewhere that I've been a million times. And all of a sudden, I noticed this beautiful house at the edge. I'd never fucking noticed it before. I'm like, has that always been there? Like, yeah. And like, I just happened to notice it this time. The amount of stuff that is right in front of us that we are just not aware of is just like crazy. And it's the same as this. Our mental well-being is right under our fucking nose.
And it always has been and it always will be. Can't be broken. It can't be damaged. It can't. It just is. And some of us get so stuck in the victim and this is just how it is that it gets covered up.
And
But,
this is just who I am.
Yeah. And
I thought the same thing. Like, I thought, I used to have a big thing about me being stupid because I couldn't speak properly. Like, even now, like, I do still do it now, but it doesn't bother me as much. I just laugh at myself. But before, it used to really bother me. Like, I had these really intellectual, incredible conversations in my head, and then I would try to speak it, and then it would just be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm stupid. And I had this identity and growing up as well, like my brother used to be really good at remembering things and talking about it, and then I compare myself to him, and then I think I'm stupid. And that was the identity that I stuck with for so long. And it's bullshit.
Comparison does that. That comparison is a silent killer. We destroy ourselves with comparison, but we weren't ever made, we're not meant to be like everybody else.